This question is for Wayne Hanna, and it's from the floor. One of the candidates spoke a little earlier about a need for a precinct in the northern part of the county. Do you see a need for a northern precinct? And what benefits would it bring? And if you supported it, how would you fund it?
Well, I think you've heard several of us talk about, we need to get more people on the road. If you mentioned, when you talk about a precinct, I envision a fixed position and a person assigned to stay at that position. If we put a precinct, wherever it may be, in the county, and we staff that 24 hours a day, that's going to take 5 people for 24-hour staffing. The building is going to cost, unless you have someone donate a building or supply a storefront or something that we could use. So you've got the cost of the building, the cost of personnel that are in that precinct, and I see that as a fixed position, and would really rather see more equipment in the cars, the computer equipment in cars, to where they can stay out and moving and be more visible. I think visibility is very important for crime deterrent, and that visibility is limited if you have them in a fixed position in a precinct, whereas if they're in a patrol car, and they're going to be assigned a car, figure anyway, so they have the car and then you have the expense of the building. So if you have just the expense of the car and keep them out and keep them moving, the computers in the car will allow them to complete reports while they're in the car. They won't have to be back at the sheriff's office. They can stay out on the streets, complete those reports, and be visible out in the community. I just think that the cost, I have no idea what the cost would be for a mobile or for a precinct. But like I say, the land, if the county doesn't own something, the land, the building, everything that's needed in that building, and then the personnel to staff that building. I think we'll get better bang for our buck, so to speak, if we have that person in, those people. If we say we have 5 people to staff the precinct, and put those 5 people on the road and have them out patrolling.
This question is for Thomas Mendel. Our nation's current economic slowdown is causing a decline in local and state revenues. How do you propose to maintain the quality of law enforcement in Fayette County with dwindling funds available?
Lock that jail down. I've been pushing it. You can house out-of-county inmates for $70 to $100 a day. There's about 241 inmates in our jail. We have room for about 541. That's 300 people. You can house inmates, and if they become a problem, you can send them back. We used to do it at Union City when we were overloaded. That's even before I worked for the Sheriff's Department. $70 to $100 a day, that's $30,000 a month. $300,000 a year. You just got to use your head. We got a jail there. We got the old pod. We got to paint it. We got to use grants. I mean, we just got to start using new ideas, new approaches. Double book people in the car. I've been riding a partner for 4 or 5 years now, and never did that in my life. And when I got a partner, that's 4 eyes looking out. Every call you go on, you can handle. When we go to domestic calls like that, if a car goes to a domestic call, it's got to have another one. It's got to have a backup unit. So now you got 2 cars in one house. And if there's a situation, you got to have a supervisor. There's 3 cars in one house. So put 2 people in the car. That's one way. And also, like I said, they can see a lot more. They're less likely to sit and park somewhere and take a nap, that kind of thing. Just using your head and using your people.
This question for Dave Simmons. A number of resource officers are currently in place in schools in Fayette County. Should this program be increased, stay the same, or decreased, and why?
The school resource officers, to my understanding, are involved in instruction on the DARE program. One of the things I've managed for years in crime prevention was I had 30 DARE officers working for me. I believe the school resource officers are a great asset to the county and the department, and I would see the need to maintain it and possibly expand it. I'm a member of the Metro Fayette Kiwanis, and we have, I think, about $100,000 left over. We're trying to find ways to spend that money. There's a component of the DARE program for middle school and high school. Currently, the DARE program ends at the 5th grade, but then when our kids go to middle school, they're just left out. And as you know, once kids get to middle school, they're under the same pressures to use drugs and alcohol. So I would see, if anything, expanding the DARE resource officers moving them into the middle schools and also the high schools to teach our kids about drug and alcohol abstinence. Also, we have a serious situation here where we're having kids forming the gangs. Those resource officers could also be trained to teach anti-gang prevention training programs in our schools. I just believe that our children are a great asset in this community, and we should do everything we can as a community to find ways to reduce the chances of our kids becoming involved in alcohol, drug abuse, tobacco misuse, and also gang activity. So I would see the need to maintain what we have, and if the funds are available, to expand it. Also, I would seriously look for funding from other organizations, social organizations that fund those type of programs. Possibly we can get some of the wages and some of the costs for the DARE program also donated to us by other charitable organizations such as the Kiwanis. Thank you.